And welcome to another teacher talk session tonight. And tonight we are having another educator from different part of the world. And tonight we have a teacher, a CELTA tutor, and a professional development trainer, Robyn Stewart. When she comes, we are going to start our live session. This session, as you know, that is the postponed session. We postponed this session because of some technical issues. But tonight, I hope nothing gonna happen, and we will have our live session with. Yes. Go.
Hi, good
Hello.
evening.
Good evening, Robyn. It's great to see you, and I'm really happy that we are again here together tonight. And I just want to say one more time, thank you very much for being with us here tonight for Teacher Talks 235th session.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. It's nice to see you again twice in 1 week.
Yeah, twice in a 1 week. That's really great. That's really
Yeah.
great. Okay, and Robyn, so I hope that's gonna happen tonight so we can have our conversation. All right, so I don't want to waste time. I know that educators, all educators are always busy. I'm sure that you're also very busy and you have lots of things to do. So ready? If you're ready, we
I'm
can start.
ready.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So I know about you, Robyn, and actually we had listened to you about this many times last time, but okay, let's do it again. So can you tell us about yourself, please, and a bit about your experiences too for our audience?
Sure. Yes. Thanks for asking and thanks for inviting me to come and talk with you, Volkan. It's nice to see you. My name is Robyn Stewart, originally from the United States. I left the US and started teaching abroad in Thailand. And since then, I have taught classes in 6 different countries. And now I work as a CELTA tutor and professional development trainer based here in beautiful Istanbul, Turkey.
Lovely, lovely. Yeah, Istanbul. I lived in Istanbul for 13 years. Then I moved to another city, so Istanbul is, I think, is the best city. I can say easily that in Turkey.
Yes, I agree. I absolutely love it here. I came to visit years ago. I stopped by for like a long weekend when I was living in Ankara, and I knew I would want to come back and live here. And so it's been about 4.5 years now that I've been
Wow.
in Istanbul. Mhm.
It's great. It's great. Wonderful. Okay. So thank you very much for the short brief about yourself. So my next question is about your background. So what was or were your turning point or points in your own education?
I started teaching basically as a volunteer job when I was in New York. And in New York, there are a lot of immigrants who come to the city. And I was working with a great volunteer organization called New York Cares, doing
Oh,
like English conversation classes for free, with adults. And I kind of thought like, oh, I like this. I think I can make this a career. And so I did. I left New York and I went to Thailand where I did a CELTA course. And I think that the CELTA course changed kind of the path of the rest of my career. From there, I got a job at a university and then university prep programs. And then I got into teacher training. And as I started learning more, I think I realized I didn't know as much as I thought I should know. So I got more into education, doing the Delta course, getting a master's in TESOL. I really am a lifelong learner. I think as educators, most of us like education. So
yeah,
I'm
sure.
really interested in, reading and learning and trying new things. Um, yeah.
Like that. I see. Okay. All right. So that's really, thank you very much for your short information about your turning points, your background, of course. Thank you. Okay. And Robyn, I know that you've been teaching for more than 15 or
15,
20
20
years.
years, yeah. I feel like
Yeah.
every
Okay.
time I say that, I say 15, and then like I started saying 15 5 years ago. So
Okay. Wonderful. Okay. So between 15 and 20 years, you've been teaching in this area. So I'm sure that during this whole time, you have tried different strategies, of course, different techniques and methodologies in your lessons, and you apply them to your lessons. And I'm sure that you have a kind of philosophy of teaching. So what is it? What is your philosophy of teaching?
Yeah, it's such a good question because I feel like the philosophy changes over time, right? I think back to my first lessons and what I think is a good lesson now versus what I thought when I first started teaching. Um, I I really do believe in making mistakes,
I
both
see.
in as a teacher and as a language learner, right? We need students to feel comfortable and confident in making mistakes. So, in order for that to happen, I think a classroom really needs uh, a very positive atmosphere. There needs to be trust. Students need to know they're not going to be laughed at or made fun of making mistakes.
Exactly.
So I think kind of creating that atmosphere, creating the emotional, intelligence in the group so that people support each other and try and work together is kind of the basic foundation of what I think makes a good classroom these days. I started doing some research into emotions in the classroom
Ah,
and
that's
how,
important.
yeah, negative emotions, people get so nervous and so scared, and it's very terrifying, especially now I'm working mostly with adults, right? And I think adults, we when we try something new, it takes a lot of courage to do so. So I
I
kind
see.
of keep that in the back of my mind always, that it takes a lot of courage. You have to be quite brave to be a beginner in a new language as an adult,
Hmm. I see.
Yeah.
I got it. I got it. That's a nice the philosophy that you mentioned here. Of course, it changed during the years and different things and different the techniques and methods and strategies we learn and we apply and our ideas they suddenly change. It's like that. And I see. Okay. Thank you very much for sharing it. Okay. So and you know that educators they all have lots of stories. I'm sure that you have a lot of stories in your career. Sometimes you have bad stories, sometimes you have good stories, sometimes, of course, you have failed ones, and I'm sure that you have lots of success stories of yours. And what I'm going to ask you that, can you tell us one or maybe two success stories of yours? But, we would like to hear something inspirational if you have. But
I,
if you want to talk about your failed ones, you can also talk about the failed ones as well.
oh, no, I've thought about this, like, when I look back and I think kind of where have I made a difference? And I think this is what I really liked about teaching, is that I could actually see that someone's life could be different based on something that they've learned in our classes. And I think when I realized that English was a key for a lot of people to have a better life, like that started back in New York when I was volunteering. I remember working with a dentist
Oh,
from Colombia. He had come to the United States and he wanted to work as a dentist, but he needed to pass the dental board exams. He was a dentist in
oh,
his country, but he couldn't transfer that degree over. So, in order to be certified, he needed to do it in English. And that
I see.
I realized, like, oh yeah, he can't actually do his profession here because he doesn't have the language skills to do so. And if I can help him get those language
I
skills,
see.
then he can, carry on his professional life. So that kind of is what, in the back of my mind, I was always interested in, like, a better life through language. I think is a
I
really
see.
interesting idea. Um, Fast forward many years, I was working in Jordan. I was in Amman, um, and there was a young woman who was studying for her IELTS exam,
Oh,
and
too hard.
so hard. And I watched this young woman. She was such an inspiration because she did so well. She worked very, very hard, and then she did really well. Scholarship, went abroad. Like, her whole life changed when she got that really
Wonderful.
good IELTS score. And
Yeah,
it's amazing how people really can change their lives through education. And I think that's what has kept me interested for all these
yeah.
years.
Definitely. I'm sure that lady was really lucky that you had there to help her for the to pass their IELTS exam.
I
So
mean,
you
she did
remember
all
the
the
story?
work. It was all hard work on her part.
You were just a guide.
Yeah, yeah. And a cheerleader at
Wonderful.
times.
A cheerleader. Oh, wonderful. That's the most important thing, actually, being a cheerleader for them, for the exam.
Yeah.
It's really hard. It's really hard. And right now I have a student for IELTS, and she's really good and really hard. She's working really hard. I
Mhm.
hope she will pass for the academic one. She's working hard. All right. So let's move to another one that we talk about it. So, and I'm gonna ask you about your business a little bit because I know that you have a company, Elteachersco.org. You have a kind of a website like this, and you are doing lots of things there. So, can you tell us about this Teachers Co-op, and what kind of site is it, and what do you provide for the teachers or the students, or how did this idea come up, or something like that?
Yes, thank you. I'm happy to talk about this. Um, this idea started for me like 12 or 13 years ago. I was working with a group of teachers on a big teacher training project in Malaysia. And there
Oh,
was one teacher who told me basically the project was a language and methodology course. So raise, the language level of the teachers as they're learning new teaching methodologies, and everyone wins basically. And this teacher who I became quite friendly with told me she was sort of disappointed that she had worked so hard in her life and had such a high level of English, got her C1 exams passed, studied abroad, had a master's degree from abroad, came back to her home country and started to lose her higher level language.
yeah.
She was teaching in a primary school, so teaching kind of elementary level A1, A2 English all the time for years and years. And she said she just forgot, she wasn't using, I don't know, mixed conditionals and higher level stuff. And she felt kind of like, that skill that she'd worked so hard for was gone.
I
And
see.
so that was sort of my beginning of this, like the question of where do teachers go to improve their own English language skills?
That's a
And
good one.
yeah, because it's like any skill, you don't just learn it once and you're done, right? You don't see professional sports people, they play, a match and then they never practice again. No, they keep practicing. They run drills, right?
Exactly.
Musicians go back and play their scales and their basic revision of things. And I feel like as teachers, we need to do that too. So here was the idea. We have EL Teachers Co-op, and this is a company meant to provide English lessons for English teachers. So the
Cool.
person who is perhaps the role model of English in their school system or in their school, in their group, in their community, they need somewhere that they can go and be with other like minded teachers who recognize language isn't a one and done, but it takes constant practice. So our company
Uh-huh.
offers higher level language courses for English language teachers.
I see. That's the company that to come up with. That's the general idea about it. That's the
Yes.
wonderful one. And I'm sure you are totally right. And the language teachers, I always think that the language is something that it's alive. It's not something that you need to to keep yourself updating. Otherwise, you lose it. You know. So you
Absolutely.
become exactly. You become not worse, but you stay the same line all the time. You cannot go
Mhm,
up or you cannot go down. You need to. That's when you need to, to develop yourself in some parts.
mhm.
That's that's
I
that's
think
the idea is really great idea.
yeah, you're absolutely right though, because language is alive. I laugh, like I look up words. I have a word of the day, dictionary app, and I hear slang or I hear something on TV and I don't know what this word means, right? Like the language is always adding um new information, new words. And I think this is a really great way to get together and, recognize that everyone needs to keep practicing, um,
Exactly.
without any type of, I don't know, there's no judgment involved. We just want to bring together people who believe in continuing education.
I
So
see.
yeah, elteachersco-op .org is the website, and yeah, we're happy
Like that,
to
I
meet
think.
teachers, and yeah.
I hope so. I hope so. And you just talk about that. So I think you are you're providing different courses there for
Mhm.
the teachers. So what kind of courses you provide? Like, do you provide like and Delta or other like other kind of courses, or you have something specific?
No, we're working with specifically English language classes. So this is
Hmm.
not methodology, it's not anything like that. The tutors who are working with us are CELTA Delta masters, qualified. So the way that we're teaching is, hopefully hopefully helpful and good to see as a model. Maybe, we all have good days and bad days. Um, yeah, but we're following basically, CEFR level B1, B2,
I see.
C1, the topics that are, required for those levels, the types of, Lexis, for example, or, what phrasal verbs are at the B2 level. This is what
I
we're
see.
practicing.
Uh-huh.
So each course is, part live online and part asynchronous online. We'll meet for 2 hours a week live and have mostly kind of speaking, listening, the skills that you need to
Hmm.
practice with other people. And
I
then
see.
the online will have, maybe a grammar review that's related, maybe some reading or some writing activities, things like that.
I see. I got it. Thank you. Thank you very much. So,
Yeah.
but when they want to, for example, the teachers that they want to connect to you, so do they connect you through the website or they can follow kind of web Instagram or other things?
Yes. Right now, I think Facebook, EL Teachers Co-op, and then our website. Our website has a contact form if there's any questions. Thank you, Heidi. Just found us online. Yep, that's
Yeah.
exactly it. Um, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's great. Okay. That's great. I see. Okay, they follow it. They connect it through the Facebook or your website. They follow you. Okay, I got it. Got it. Thank you, Robin. And there are questions here, and something that I think that Heidi that she asked you. So the questions are. Let me ask you them. Maybe you want to answer.
Sure.
And she asked. Let me find the first questions that she asked about what is the common mistake that the new teachers make? That's something related to you that you can easily answer, I think.
Yes, as a CELTA tutor, I've watched a lot of new teachers. I love working with new teachers and helping them develop an identity as a educator, as a teacher, as the person. I have kind of two thoughts on this. The first one is a piece of advice I give all the time, and I think it applies to parenting as well as teaching. So, as a parent, you would never ask your kid, "Hey, do you want to clean your room?" The
uh,
answer to that question is
no.
no, right? Which is not an acceptable answer. If you want you want it to happen, better to give an option. Are you cleaning your room before or after dinner? Either
I
answer is
see.
perfectly acceptable to me, right? So translate this to a classroom. I see, um, if you start off a lesson that's, let's say we're practicing, functional language for bargaining in the shopping in the market area, and you start the lesson by saying, "Do you like shopping?" You have a 50-50 chance that your class will say no. At which point, like, okay, now I'm going to make you practice this thing that you told me you don't like for the
I
next
see.
whatever. So better not to ask a question that you don't want the answer to. That's my
I see.
advice.
I see. I got it.
Frame the question where everyone can answer in a way that is acceptable to you. So
So you.
maybe, what was the last thing you bought? Or do you prefer a market or a shopping mall? Everyone could
Mhm.
answer a question like this without saying,
Exactly.
no, I don't like it.
Give them options. You mean that's much better. I think kind of you giving an option. You mean
Or, I
like
mean, or
yeah,
an open question without options, but that the answer is not no. I don't
not
like,
no.
yeah.
I see. Yeah,
Everyone bought
I
something.
got
If
it.
you say, for example, what was the last thing you purchased? They could talk about groceries or a ticket, or they could talk about anything, right?
Yeah, exactly. I see. Okay. By the way, I just wanna correct myself because the question was not from Heidi. The question was from the Muhammad. Muhammad, he asked you the questions. I
Oh,
think
good.
that's why I'm sorry because she wrote it here because that was not my question, but it's a good
It's a
question.
good one. Oh, it is
And
a
then
good question.
I just want to change the person who asked you the question. And then another one that can I ask?
Sure,
There's
yeah, of
one more
course.
question. And uh, ask you, how do you continue developing yourself as an educator after many years of experience?
This is, I mean, it's an amazing question.
Same person, by the way, same person again.
Good. Thanks. Thanks for all the good questions. Uh, as a teacher, we have access to so many different tools that we can use to develop. Um, I very much love conferences, going to conferences in person, online, um, putting in proposals to present at conferences. Sometimes they're accepted, sometimes they're not. Either way, I learn something from the experience. Um, I use platforms like Coursera and FutureLearn. They have absolutely amazing, most of the time, free classes that you can continue taking. I think with the internet, I mean, today I just made a list of new AI tools that I hadn't heard of. And I made my little list so that I can look them up and start, understanding how they work. And there's so much around us that we can learn from. I think that what's
Exactly.
the hard part is figuring out where your interests lie, I think, and where you want to spend your time and energy and effort. Um,
I see.
yeah.
That's the case. That's the case. Yeah, even if you need to, you always need to, develop yourself. I always say that if you stop learning, you stop teaching. That's what I say when they ask me. And if you
Mm.
stop learning, you stop teaching. You keep learning and then you keep teaching. You
That's
learn
a good one.
something and you teach. You learn, you teach. So that's kind of an idea that I have in my mind. I always repeat it when someone asks me about my idea about this, developing yourself, like improving some kind of things in about your career, about your teaching. I always say that if you stop learning, you stop teaching. When you stop learning, you think that it's time to stop teaching because you're done.
Yeah, because you're done. I like that. I might borrow that from you.
That's kind of idea I have in my mind. I see. Okay, so thank you for your answer, and I'm sure that she had the like. I think I don't know if she's here or not, but she asked a question, and she listened to your answer. Probably should write something, but if not, I want to say thank you instead of her to you about your answer. All right, so let's move to another questions. I
Okay.
have different questions for you. So, and you know that you've been living in Turkey for a long time. Oh, here, and you got the answer. That's great answers. I really appreciate it. Thank you. So, what I'm going to ask you that you're from the USA and you've been also, I think you taught there for some years. So, and you have lots of idea. I know that
Mm.
you live in Turkey right now, but my question is going to be from the USA. Like, what's one misconception about teaching in your country?
Such a
Hard
good.
question.
It's really hard. No. So I'll tell you. Well, kind of.
But
I've
if you wanna
never.
if you wanna say something about Turkey, you can also say. That's acceptable because you've
Mhm.
been living in for a long time. I know. You are not in the USA. Maybe you don't have
Yeah.
not have a lot of ideas about the education system there. I'm
No,
just kidding, though. Good.
no, I never taught in a school in the US. I worked at universities and I worked with high school students, but I never actually taught in a school system. But I
I
think
see.
something that people don't really know about education in the US is that there is no national curriculum.
Oh,
Every state has their own curriculum. So 50 different states have 50 different ideas of what education should be.
oh, I
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. That it's quite unique, I think, in that way. Everywhere else I've worked has been like one national curriculum kind of for the country, you know. The US is a very big and divided country at the moment, especially. So it's kind of interesting that that education kind of goes with it. But I think that school systems in everywhere I've been, kind of teachers have many of the same struggles. Uh, and the way that kind of, phones came in and then students wanted to play on their phones and not pay attention to class. And then we figured out how to use phones for education. And I feel like everywhere around the world, we're kind of facing the same problems within
Yeah.
our education. Uh,
That's it. I see. I got the point. Okay. So thank you for the idea about it. But I mean, like the system, it's not going from Washington to all the states. It's not that every state has their own education system, different curricula. Okay,
Yes.
I
I
see.
think
I got the point.
Washington tries through funding. So, we'll give your state money if you implement this education
I
policy. We'll
see.
give that. So they do kind of control through the money. But at the end of the day, the states are all responsible for their own.
I see. I got it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mhm,
Thank you, Robin,
mhm.
for the info. All
Mm.
right. So, Robin, we all have some kind of, the goals before starting a new year. So, okay, this year I'm going to do this, 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 or next year I will do this. So, what about you? What is your biggest goal for this year?
$2026.
If something special, you don't need to say. I just asked you the question. I don't know.
No, I'll tell you, I kind of came into this year with three things, kind of three major things that I'm working on this year. Four. I have a list of four things that I'm working on this year. Number one is EL Teachers Co-op, getting the classes off the ground, getting started. I have learned so much about starting a business in the last 3 months and about designing a website, owning a website. All of these things were
Perfect.
new to me. So that was my kind of number one I'm still working on and will continue to work on. Number two is we launched at ITI Istanbul, which is where I work. My regular full-time job, we launched a hybrid CELTA course.
Wow.
So the course is 3 weeks online and then 2 weeks face-to-face, which is, I think, kind of the best of both worlds right now. I think most teachers prefer the
The
face-to-face
same.
with the energy and the people and but in realistically, most of us will teach online at some point. So
Yes.
this was kind of our way of putting together the online, the face to face. So that was kind of a new endeavor for me. We're working on this year. Number three is IA TEFL, the big international conference coming up
I love it.
just a month. Yeah, it's a month away. So I have
I
a,
know. You will be there?
I'll be there. Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I applied for and won a scholarship to attend from the
Oh,
Teacher Training and
great.
Education Special Interest Group, which is,
Oh, great. Great.
yeah, super good for me. That was very exciting. Uh, and number four, are you ready for it?
Yes.
I'm going to apply for PhD programs this year.
Oh, perfect. Wonderful. I
I
hope
can't
you will
stop.
do that. You keep learning. You keep
I know.
learning. Exactly. It's wonderful. And the last one, I hope to complete all of them as soon as possible this year. But the last one, I think that's the most important one for you for the PhD. That one, that's really great.
Yes. It's like kind of getting ready for a big commitment. It's something that I've thought about for a while, and I think it's, yeah, let's try it.
Time to do it. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Good luck. Okay, great to hear that. Okay, thank you for sharing the goals with us here, Robin. And now, what I'm gonna ask you that teachers and edu. By the way, I was in ITOEFL in I think 2015, and
Cool.
when it was in Manchester, I was there. The one in the Manchester, that was really
Mhm.
awesome. I had really perfect times there. I'm
Yeah.
really great. I
It's
don't know what.
it's kind of overwhelming. There's so many things to learn there. So
Yeah,
many,
exactly.
yeah.
A lot of things happening around there. When you go inside the kind of a conference hall, the thousands, or maybe I don't know, thousands of people are there,
Mhm.
and everybody, they're all talking, all of them talking about some educational things and some companies and other things, lots of things, some posters, lots of things around, and your brain, how can I say, your brain becomes a little bit kind of dizzy, like that when you go inside.
I just pulled out, I have a notebook where I wrote down my schedule. Like, I want to go and see this session and this session, this session, because there's so many things going on at the same time that
Yeah, you
you
should.
have to make choices, right? Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Good luck there.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
yes, so let's move to another question. What I'm going to ask you that that every teacher wants to be successful in the classroom.
Mm.
Okay? When we go into the classroom, we want to leave. When we think that after of leaving the classroom, we want to feel that we were successful in the classroom. So, as an experienced one, what do you think makes a teacher successful in the classroom?
Yeah, this is such a great question. Um, I think successful teachers have one thing in common, which is that they are able to actually observe and witness what's happening in the room and
Yeah.
then react to it in real time. They're able to make changes. They're able to stay present with the students. Uh, I watch teaching most of the day for
Yeah.
for the last few years. I've watched a lot of teaching, um, and I think if you go into the classroom with a lesson plan that is meticulously written, you know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly, and then something goes a little bit wrong because when you're dealing with people, we don't control students. They have free will, and they say what they want to say, and uh, so if something goes a little bit not to plan, and then the teacher who's able to adapt and make a change
Uh-huh.
and keep going is the one who can be more successful. I think in order for that to happen, though, you have to be quite comfortable and confident that you are able to deal with whatever is going to come up. And that comes through preparation. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of talking in a circle. So if you have to be very prepared so that when you get to the room, you can throw out the plan or make a
Yes.
change to the plan as it's needed.
Hmm.
And I
That's
think
that.
if you're able to be present and actually see what's happening, you can then also afterwards reflect on that experience so that next time maybe you'll make a different choice in the, how you start the lesson or and I think a lot of us teach the same things multiple times. Whether it's once an academic year, you teach the same lessons, you teach the same, grammar. I do it on a much shorter cycle because the courses I teach are quite short. So I'm able to reflect on and make changes to those sessions that I lead. And I think the more we can reflect and make changes, that's
Okay.
that's all we can do. Do our
Yes.
best.
They're best in the class. I see. And then become you feel that successful in the classroom. I see. I got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know that you want to add something, or can I go another question?
I don't know. I'm just, it's interesting to think about like what makes a successful lesson also, or
I
what makes
see.
a successful teacher. Is it, what are you valuing? Is it test scores? If your students all do well on a test, you feel like you've done a good job as a teacher. Is it that they are, speaking English without, being
Yeah,
nervous or
actually,
scared or
I don't know. I think in some parts, we can say that maybe not the teacher doesn't, the teacher and the teachers don't feel the same thing. But when you think about the administrator part, maybe they think
Mhm,
that they check the students' grades
mhm.
and like from the exams. You know that, especially in Turkey, that's really important for a lot of families. So if
Yeah.
they get high grades or high marks from the exams, if all the classes get the good points from the exams, they think that
Do you know?
it's successful. But it doesn't work like that. I think being successful in the classroom doesn't mean about the grades. There are lots of there are lots of other things that affect you to become successful.
I think I was very much meant for this kind of discussion about what is success because as a teenager, I took French. I had lived in France, so I spoke French, but I didn't like know French grammar. And then I got to the US and I went into French class, and I did not have the highest score. But the guy who had the highest score couldn't speak French. Like
Yeah.
he could do all the tests, all the exams, all the grammar, and the teacher would ask him a question and he would, I don't know what to say, I don't speak French. And I could kind of do a little bit of grammar, enough to, pass. I was fine, but then I could have a conversation. And I remember watching my teacher like have a breakdown of like, what am I doing? What is this? What does it mean to teach a foreign language? Um, it's what are we valuing is a really important question. And I think, yeah, tests and exams, and they definitely have a place, but it can't be it can't be the only thing, I don't
Yeah.
think.
And Heidi is a really nice comment here. She says, I don't feel as fulfilled after teaching a class where I feel I have to teach the test.
Yeah.
That's I totally agree. I agree,
Hmm.
Heidi, about the idea. Yeah, you are right. But
Me too.
especially in Turkey, that we have a reality of LGS, that,
Hmm.
and for the eighth grades, and especially when they're in eighth grade, students are working hard to pass the test to
Hmm.
go to a good high school. So, and I think for them the most of the lessons are maybe important, but not the English or not the other link. They just work and study hard to just pass the test and to get the high grades to
Hmm.
go to a good high school. As you know that you have heard lots of things about it probably.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of a shame. I've been asked, how do I get a great score on IELTS? And I think number one, like practice English, general English. And then
Yeah,
number two, practice for the exam.
I see.
Like
I
you can't
got it.
just do one or the other. You need to kind of do both.
I see.
Yeah.
Good. All right. So let's move to another question then. I think it's better to do. Okay. So you know that we are using emojis in our life. You know the emojis that especially when we text the messages or email, or I don't know, when we write the comments on Instagram or Facebook, we use lots of emojis. We love them. So when you think about all these emojis, if you were a kind of an emoji as a teacher, let's say today, which one would you be, of course, and why?
Yes. Um, I love emojis. I think I'm of the generation that I use an emoji with every text I send. I always
Yeah.
send some picture to kind of show how I'm feeling about it. I think right now my favorite emoji is the four-leaf clover,
Uh,
the green,
yeah,
right? That's like
yeah,
lucky,
exactly.
luck, um, good, positive. I send a little green, the green four-leaf clover to people a lot. That's my
I
favorite
see.
one.
For good luck, you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Really? I see. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so Robin, you know that there are a lot of moments happening in our classroom during teaching. So some moments that makes us angry, some moment that makes us sad, and of course some moments makes us smile, make us laugh in the classroom. So what classroom moment always makes you smile when you think about your classes?
Uh, I'm already laughing at it. I can't. Do
That's
you
nice.
you know this game uh where you put maybe it's a vocab review kind of game and you put words on the board around and then you have students with a fly swatter.
Yeah,
You know this that you
yeah,
kill the
of course.
flies with, right?
They
And
hit
they
it
they
on the
slap
words. Yeah, I
the
see.
words. I just remember doing that with one class and they like loved that game so much. People were running to the board and slapping and then they'd slap each other nicely like, "Oh, get out of the way. No, no, it's my turn." And I just like I get every time I am feeling like I don't know, I don't really have the energy for this, whatever. I think of these people with the fly swatters. So excited. And I think that just brings me so much joy. But I
Join, I
think
see.
one of the things that I really love about teaching is that you have to be present. You have to be in the room, right? And
Yes.
you can't, it's like you kind of have an excuse to kind of put away something that you're thinking about, maybe, or something that's bothering you, or a problem that needs to be solved. You can kind of leave it for the time that you're engaging with this lesson. It's
Uh-huh.
like I think of like a little suitcase that you can kind of leave your troubles and come in and do this lesson and then go and pick up the suitcase again on the way out. Um, I've always
I
kind of
see.
liked that about teaching, that you kind of need to be there. Or
Exactly.
yeah,
I
yeah.
see.
I
Okay.
try not to
Thank
look
you.
at my phone or something like that during lessons because then there's messages and there's life, right? But
Of course.
let's be
I got it.
present in our
Thank you.
class.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay, so you know that teachers, we love talking in the classrooms, and when we go into the classrooms, we say a lot of things in the classroom to the students. And sometimes we repeat ourselves without realizing it. We say the same sentence many times, but we don't realize it, but we use it. What is the most common sentence you say in your classes?
Uh, I don't know that I mean, I say the same thing all the time. Okay, what I always say is be a duck.
Be a duck?
Okay. You've been to a lake. Have you been to a lake and you see the ducks on the lake?
Sure.
Okay, right? And when you look at them, they're on the lake. How do they look?
Quiet.
Right?
Just
They're
focusing on.
so peaceful. They're like,
Yeah,
oh.
exactly.
But have you ever seen the underwater camera at the zoo or something? The ducks underwater, their little legs,
They're always moving. Yeah.
they're like, oh my gosh. And I work with training teachers, new teachers, and I always think on the top, everything's going well in my class, everything's fine. Underneath, what am I doing next? Where are the handouts that I need? Right? So I often say, be a duck.
Be a dog. That's nice. That's nice one. Yeah, you're right. Exactly. You see it at the top of on the surface and under the surface. So there are lots of different things
Yeah.
there.
Because also the students don't need to see the underwater, right? They
Yeah.
don't need to know what you're thinking. Oh, I didn't bring the right handout. I forgot to make a, oh, I don't have the right pen, whatever it is that you're thinking about. They don't need to know. They just see the lesson, instructions are clear. In the meantime, you're going, oh my gosh, I gave the wrong instructions. Doesn't matter, right? Be a duck.
Yeah. I like that. Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing it. You know, Robin, a lot of things happening in education, all right? So especially technological parts. So you know that a lot of new developmental things come up, and the technology improves every second. Even if right now we're talking to each other, a lot of things happening, and but especially in education, lots of things also happen.
Mhm.
When you think about this, what change in education, of course, excites you the most right now?
You know, I really am interested in the like creating materials with different AI tools. You can make a video very quickly. You can make pictures that go with your lesson. You can make any type of visual creative thing.
Uh-huh.
Um, I I made I kind of tried to copy a clip that I've been using from a video that's very very old, and it's kind of dark, and I've just have this one kind of file that I've been using for so many years. And I tried to remake the same kind of story using an AI tool. And it came out like it was a little bit weird because in the clip, a child hands a parent like a piece of paper. And I was giving the prompt to the AI, to have the child hand the paper. And somehow like four or five hands get involved, and there's like AI didn't quite understand that, this person has two hands and this person has two hands, and we can't have six hands passing papers around. Um,
I see.
when that gets better, though, when the AI is able to kind of not add extra hands and uh, things like that, I think that we will be able to make video clips so easily. Students can create video projects. They can do the voices of the people in the clips. Like we can really add some more creativity very easily into our lessons. So that's kind
I
of what
see.
I'm excited about, is the visuals and the kind of video making capabilities that are coming up.
Yeah, that excites you. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Especially after we started using the AI, a lot of changes happening in education.
Yeah.
I really love the that idea of AI. That excites me most. That using it in every part and everything, really preparing worksheets and preparing the lessons and preparing this and grading and everything that that makes our the life easier. It's a time saver kind
It
of.
can be. I think it can be, though, when you're an experienced teacher and you know what you're looking for in a worksheet, and you have time to double check, right? Because right now it's not
Exactly.
perfect. So if you don't know what you're looking for and you don't have time, and you make a worksheet and then you give it to your students and there's something kind of right, it's not quite there yet. Um, I think that
Exactly.
we still have a job for now.
Yeah,
Thank
exactly.
goodness.
Thanks God. Yeah, exactly. We'll have this job for a long time, I think. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Robin. You know that, Robin, you have taught lots of, I think, for years, and you have faced a lot of students, and you have taught lots of students, of course, and you graduate them. They come, you taught them, and they leave, right? So after they leaving, they go different places, or maybe they go different countries. You even don't know. Maybe sometimes you meet them again somewhere. But what do you hope your students remember about you years later?
Oh, I mean, I really hope that I always think that you should leave people. This is a quote from one of my favorite TV shows, but they say leave people well, meaning they have a positive overall impression, right? People, I think
Yeah,
we forget details, we forget uh the day to day, but we remember kind of how we felt about those things. And I think if if people can say like, oh yay, oh I remember her, she was really nice, or oh I remember her, she made me feel really good in class, um, or oh I remember her, she was she was crazy. Something like kind of nice and friendly is what I would hope. The feeling, I think the feeling, I think many people will remember to be a duck. A lot of the teachers I've worked with in the last couple of years, that seems to
That's
hit.
right.
It makes sense, right? It's like something that you can
Yeah,
remember.
exactly. Great. Great to hear that. Thank you for sharing, Robin, with us. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you another one here. What I'm gonna ask you that, we all, you know, successful people, they always, they have, or let's say they always follow other successful people path. They see that they are successful and they want to do what they do. They want to study how they studied, and they follow, and they try to follow their path, especially the success, and they take them down as a role model. So what about you? Do you have any role models for yourself? If you have, who? Or do you have anyone who inspired you?
I do, yeah. Um, I think I have told anyone who asks me for advice and then says something like, oh, I can't, I'm too old. Like, I'm too old to do this. I'm too old to try to change my job or to move or anything like that. I always tell them about my mother,
I see.
because my mother is an absolute inspiration. Had a dream job, had a dream for a job. She didn't have the dream job. She had a dream for a job that she, wanted to do. And instead, she, had children and got married and had other things kind of come up in her life. And then when her kids, me being the youngest, were kind of older, she decided to go back and work towards that dream job.
I
And
see.
she was able to get the job that she always wanted and kind of live this, dream life that she'd wanted to have, uh, just for not for too many years, but for a few years until, retirement age kind of came up quickly. But I always think like, if there's something out there that we want to do, it's never too late. It's never too late to try new things. It's never too late to, change your outlook on something, or try a new job, or go back to school, or change your career entirely. It's never too late. And I got that from
I
my mom.
see. I got it. So your role model is your mom. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you for sharing it here with us here. Okay. So Robin, you know that there are lots of moments happening in our life, and we face a lot of challenging situations. And sometimes we try to cope with them. We try to deal with these situations, but sometimes we cannot. We try our best, but we cannot handle it. And during when the moment comes and we say on our own, oh, I wish I could have kind of a superpower to fix this, to deal with the problems, all right? And but of course, after we handle the problem, we solve it out. But when you think about this into your classroom, about the superpower part, of course, if
Mhm.
you could have one superpower to use it in the classroom, what would it be, and how would it help you?
I think that my classroom superpower would be to understand where everyone is coming from.
I
I think
see.
you never know what someone else is going through. You never know, I think in general, if someone out in the street, bumps me or gets too close or something, I think like, oh, ugh, like they're just a jerk. But maybe they had a really bad morning and maybe someone yelled at them on their, like, we never know what has happened in someone else's life. So I think my superpower would be in the classroom to know what has happened to everyone and kind of what their mental state is, how they're feeling emotionally at the start of class, so that we can,
I see.
address everyone as individuals. If you could
I got
see
it.
inside and know how someone feels without having to rely on them telling you
I
what happened
see.
this morning, or, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Mm.
I'm sure that would be great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you very much, Robyn. Okay, so Robyn, think that we finish this our conversation and you go outside and you find a lottery tickets, okay, that end up winning $100 million, which is a huge amount of money. What would you do? Be honest.
I wouldn't lie to you. Um, so honestly, the first thing I would do is I would have to buy an apartment or a house or a something, a place to live. You know, with real
Wonderful.
estate and changes and like I just need one place
Yeah,
to
yeah,
live.
I see.
Okay. After that, the rest of the money, I would really, really put into some type of education scholarship company, organization, something like that. Um, I think that a lot of people are limited by finances. Like if you had all the money to do study wherever and whatever you wanted in the world, I think many people could do a lot of really great things. So I would start scholarship organization to give money to
I
deserving
see.
students to do what they can do.
Wonderful.
Uh,
Wonderful. Great ideas. Thank you. I hope you will do that as soon as possible. Yeah,
yes,
you got $100 million.
I'm not eligible to win the lottery here though.
So I wish you could find it somewhere, the lottery ticket. I see. Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Robyn. Okay, so the time flies, Robyn. But now I'm gonna ask you my last question, and the
Okay.
hardest. Ready? Yeah. Yes. What is your motto?
This motto is always misquoted, misattributed to the author Walt Whitman, but it is be curious, not judgmental.
Uh, that's a nice one. It's a
Hmm.
nice one. Be curious, not judgmental. You're right. It's
Yeah.
easy to judge people without, understanding.
And that's the thing, if you never know what has gone on. You never know how someone is feeling. And if you are curious, you ask them about it rather than thinking, oh, you know, making a judgment about them. I think a lot of humanity, if we can kind of give each other a little bit of grace and ask the questions, we'll all get along a little better. And I think every classroom needs that. And, every country, every city, we all need a little bit of understanding.
I see. I got it. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for the
Yay.
motto. Okay, Robyn. Now I ask my questions, but now
Yes.
we're gonna move to the second part of the session, which
Okay.
is quick fire question part, all right? So this is really nice. I'm gonna ask you some quick fire questions. I give you two options and you give me the quick answers, okay?
Okay.
So that's what I'm gonna do it. All
All right.
right, let's get started. One, two, go. Online teaching or face to face?
Face to face.
Good. And pair work or group work?
Group.
Morning classes or afternoon classes?
Afternoon, always.
Okay. Silence or productive noise?
Noise. Oh, the louder the better.
Great. Homework or no homework?
Never homework.
Ah, that's nice. I like it. Routine or variety?
Can
That's
we say
hard.
both? No, because I think routines are really good, but also
I
variety
see.
within the routine.
Okay, as both you can say.
Okay.
Control or trust?
What was the first one?
Control or trust?
I don't know.
Control. That's
Trust.
nice. Okay. Trust.
Trust.
Okay.
Trust.
Great. Okay. Great. So, red pen or green pen?
Green.
Wonderful. Okay. Staff room or classroom?
Oh, classroom.
All right. And the last one is one more minute or time's up?
Time is up, Volcanic.
Okay, yeah, time is up. Thank you very much, Robyn. That's all. I ask all my questions to you, Robyn. Thank you very much. That was the last part, and that was the new part of our session, the quick fire question. Thank you for your answers for that one. And before ending our live sessions, Robyn, would you like to add anything else? Do you have any suggestions or advice to our audience?
Oh, here are the final suggestions and advice. Okay. Well, thank you so much for inviting me to come and chat with you. I've really enjoyed this. An hour pretty much just flew by. So thank you for your thoughtful questions, and I like the rapid fire. That was fun. Uh, yeah,
Thank
I
you.
hope, teachers out there, we do a difficult job. And I think every day, I'm so glad for the teachers that I had. And I'm sure that the teachers out there are all doing their best. And that is all that we can do. So keep
Wonderful.
doing it. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Robyn. And I would like to say it one more time, thank you very much for being with us here and for your advice, for your suggestions, and especially your time. You spend your time here with us. That was pressure for us. And Robyn Stewart was with us tonight here at Teacher Talk 235th, and we had a fruitful session with her. And as you know that we are going to be here next week at the same time on the same day, every Monday at 9 p.m. And until the next time, wherever you are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Please take care of yourself and take care of yourself, Robyn. And bye bye, everybody, and peace.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.